Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Jesse Showalter, and I'm going to be your host for the next few weeks as we go through 9 challenges using Adobe XD to improve your UI and UX skills. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got people jumping into the chat right now. We got my girl Fergie, what's up, as well as Voodoo Val moderating. We have Anand and Gal. Tell me where you're coming from in the world right now, what your favorite emoji is. That's my favorite thing to know about you is what's the deal? What's your emoji game like right now? So let me know. Just figuring out a few technical things as we get going, but let's dive in because today is the welcome. Today is Monday, where if you have never participated in an XD Daily Creative Challenge, you're going to learn all about it today. If you have participated, you're just going to get up to speed a little bit. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to jump over to my screen real quick and give you a view of what you can be what you are in store for the next few weeks. So if you've never done one, you can find it over at behance.net/challenge/XD. Hit that big blue button with your name printed on it. If not, it'll probably sign you up for an Adobe account. And then once you've done that, it's just 4 easy steps. Each day you're going to receive a challenge. You're going to join the community chat, not just the chat that's here inside of Behance, but you're going to want to also sign up for the XD Discord server with something like 36,000 creatives on it, which is absolutely insane. You want to be a part of that. And then you're going to watch the daily live show. You're doing that right now. You're already winning at life. And then finally, you're going to share your work and get feedback from mentors in the Discord server, also posting things in Behance. If we just scroll down a little bit, you'll see these are the slots where each of the challenges will unlock each day. And we might just take a little sneak peek at the types of challenges we'll be doing throughout. So you'll be joining me every single day for that. And today, like I said, we're going to be just talking about some tips and tricks. We're going to open up an XD file. I'm going to show you around a little bit, give you some insights into what's coming up, maybe a few of my favorite plugins, answer some questions, and maybe even take a look at a little bit of work. That's the plan for the day. Actually, I think work would be a lot of fun. Why don't we dive right in to looking at a few pieces of work, because that's what we're going to be doing at the end of each challenge. But why don't we start today off by doing that? I'm inside the XD Discord server and I'm in the challenge channel here, and these are from previous challenges that I was not a part of, but I get to look at them and just give a little bit of insight. Ooh, these are really cool. I'm really excited. Let's take a look at this one by Tochi that's on Behance. Why don't we just let's press play on this one by MK Nasari, excuse me. Let's go full screen on this bad boy. All right, what do we got? A little video prototype. Okay, nice animation. Little bit of fun we're having there. I like a little bit of fun on a Monday. I like a little bit of fun any old time. Let's take a look at another one on Behance. Let's check out some of this work from previous challenges. This one is from Yohani, XD Carousel in Adobe XD. Okay, how do we see this thing? Okay, here, it's coming. My internet connection on my laptop's a little slow, but it's catching up. It's doing the thing. Oh, fun. Okay. And again, all of this, we're going to learn all about how to do these fun interactions using auto-animate, and we'll do some 3D stuff. We might even look at a little bit of that stuff today as we overview the program. So that is a fun interaction. I super dig it. Let's jump over and look at this one by, I think it was Tochi inside of the Discord server. And this is an event page. Oh, cool. Fun with shapes. Good, fun design style. Also, love the filling effect. Like either it's a hover or like an active state effect on this. Oh, I love it so much. That is a ton of fun. All right, I tell you what. With that being said, these are beautiful pieces of work. Can't wait to see yours for the next 2 weeks. Just continue to post those things on Behance and on Discord. But let's jump over to a starting file. You don't have the starting file because it's simply a preview. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you some insights on how things go. We got Cornell jumping in the chat, and we have Moshumi, and Gal is still here with us. Leslie, Umacorn, from where are you coming from? Let me know. Favorite emoji, love all those things. Also, I have had like 5 specialty drinks today, not all of them coffee. If you can guess what type of drinks I've had, they're non-alcoholic and they're not coffee on this fine Monday, you win points. What can you do with those points? You can cash them in for good vibes. That's what you can do. So let me know about that, what you think I've been drinking today, and I'll let you know my favorite Monday drinks. All right. Here in our starting file, we have a few things going on. You're always going to get a starting file besides today, and it's going to tell you what day you're currently on. We are currently on day 0, the intro. This is Monday, and it's going to give you a little bit of a challenge prompt each day. Underneath that, you're going to get some inspirations. And so these are actually inspirations for tomorrow. So no, you can't look because you don't know what we're doing tomorrow. Then down below that, we have actually a component that has multiple instances, and we'll talk about all about instances and stuff. You'll learn all about this stuff, but it's a resource booklet, and all you have to do is come into the right-hand panel here and click on icons, fonts, photos, or tutorials, and it will switch the instance of this reusable component, and it'll give you some insights on where you can find fun icons, those fonts, photos, and different tutorials and things that might help you. So you jump through that. You also have some tips for me down here, as well as some tips on sharing your work and on joining that Discord server, like everybody should. It's a great place to find friends, find some fun. But with that being said, why don't we dive in? And I'm gonna throw an artboard. Let's throw an artboard down. And also, if you are watching this on YouTube, come on over to Behance, follow that link, join us here. That's where we're engaging in the chat, because Umacorn is from the Netherlands. Somebody, Voodoo Val thinks I drank kombucha. Not quite. Lena says tea. Not quite. Voodoo Val also said smoothie. You're wrong on the smoothie. No to the protein shake. Yes to Poland. I want to go to Poland. But I tell you, what I've had is a coconut coffee. It's not actually coffee, made out of coconut. Very delicious. I had 2 of those. You can tell, a little bit hyped up, a little bit amped and excited to be here on the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I've also had a little bit of matcha green tea. So technically the tea, that was the correct answer, but I just referred to it as matcha. I've also had plenty of water. So after this is done, the little boys' room for me, because I'm filled to the brim. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna jump over here just a little bit, and let's drop an artboard. So I'm just gonna hit A for artboard, and that's gonna bring up, at this point I can draw an artboard any size I want, or with A selected, I also get all of the artboard size selections over here in the right-hand panel. I'm gonna hit iPhone 12 Pro Max, a nice big mobile artboard to work on. Let's bring that up and over here, and let's zoom in. I think today what I might want to do is let's make a lock screen, and then maybe we'll see if we have time to prototype a little bit of animation for like a notification bubble popping up. Okay, that could be kind of fun. I'm actually going to fill my artboard. I have this kind of fun kind of purpley blue color picked out, so that's going to be pretty cool. Let's just call this and rename this here lock screen. Renaming my layers, keeping my layers tidy, folks. That's what I like to do. Somebody says matcha. Lena says matcha is a must-have for the afternoon. I know, it tastes so good, iced with a little bit of almond milk, tad bit of whipped cream right on the top. It's gonna hit the spot. Okay, cool. Here we go. So, all right, so now we have our lock screen, and you know what's always great is to work smarter, not harder, and not reinvent the wheel. So I'm sure there's some iOS components that are pretty standard stuff that I don't feel like remaking. Did you know you can always just head right up here to File and go to Get UI Kits, and you can grab UI kits for Apple iOS, Material Design, Microsoft Windows. You can get wireframes and a whole bunch more. You actually hit Apple iOS, it's gonna lead you out to the web over here to this site, over to the Apple developer site. And if you just scroll down, you can actually just snag the Adobe XD iOS 14 UI kit, right? That's a good thing to have. And when you grab that and open it up, it's gonna look a little something like this. It's gonna have all sorts of colors built into it. It's gonna have all sorts of components built into it, right? We got our cover that tells us what's available to us here. What we're really looking for is lock screen items. So, okay, we have some guides, dynamic typography. We got some different tabs and different things, but watch this. If I scroll over, oh my gosh, look at that. That's a lock screen. That's exactly what we needed, and I love it, love it, love it so much. So I'm going to just select my lock screen. You can see I have it selected, all the elements that are there. Let's see, and on it, it's gonna have, it's gonna have time, date, little bubble, and also like iconography and everything, the UI built out for flashlight and camera. Really love that. So I'm literally just gonna copy this. I'm gonna paste it right in here. Okay, now it's a little bit smaller than our the artboard that we have there, but that's no problem. We can just scale that thing up. Look at that. Works amazing. Okay. Okay. Masai says designers eat human interface guidelines. Yeah, and it's scary. Yeah, I eat them. I eat them for breakfast. That was a little bit intense. Sorry. I just thought I'd get silly with you guys. Sorry. I'm ready to have a good time for the next 2 weeks. I hope you guys are too. I'm going to delete this wallpaper because we don't need it. We like our wallpaper. Just kind of a cool color. And I tell you what, why don't we get rid of, we'll get rid of one of these notifications for now. But you notice this. Notice when you have an element selected and it has this little green link there, that means it's a component. Okay, that's telling you that this is actually a component. We can actually move over to our component section and we have a few things that have been dropped in, right? We have our lock screen, system notification, all of those things have been dropped in. There is also some missing fonts. We'd have to go ahead and make sure we have those fonts installed on our own machine to update the certain fonts and certain typography, okay? So with that said though, we should be able to open up lock screen like this inside. We got all the good stuff going on in there, okay? So remember how artboards work. We have all of our artboards listed. We click on one and then we have all the elements inside of that individual artboard, okay? So now with that being said, I can select the notification there. I also have my little lock screen elements and those are perfect. I don't want to mess with those actually at all. So I'm just going to lock those by hitting the little lock thing, or you can press Command or Control L depending on your operating system, right? So perfect. So now I can't mess with the rest of it, but I can, by clicking in, actually get my little notification bulb, right? That's what I want. What's the application, right? The application name is the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. That's our application name. That's what we're doing today. And I'll tell you what, why don't we just really quickly, I'm going to take my little snapper right here and just snap the Adobe XD icon. That's all I'm doing. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, with that being said, we're probably going to want to just stretch out our layers panel so we can see things a little bit. Let's find it right here. Whoop, bring it inside and see how you just, in Adobe XD, all you got to do is drag and drop on any shape and it will pop. It'll fill it in for you. That looks beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. So we're going to get our little description. Let's do, in the chat, let me know what kind of notification are we sending to our users? Should it be a notification that the challenge is starting? I think challenge is starting, right? Let's go. Let's do the challenge is starting now. Let's put an exclamation mark because we're serious. We're emphatic about this thing. We're putting emphasis on it, all right? And the description, join Jesse for today's daily creative challenge. That's not how we spell challenge, but thank goodness that XD has spell check on it and immediately lets me know because I'm really bad at spelling and grammar. Okay, perfect. Like this. Now, we could be kind of saucy. We could change the appearance here of our color if we wanted to. Instead of doing solid, why don't we do a linear gradient, okay? And instead of doing like a darker version of this at the bottom, why don't we do, yeah, that looks a little nicer, just a little something, a little bit of gradient. That's kind of fun. New daily challenge added, okay? Oh, yeah, that's better. Let's do that. New daily challenge added. New daily challenge added. Man, oh man, I have the spelling problems. And then, of course, still, bump, bump, bump. Let's put that in there. Okay, so good. We've created a little notification bubble there. We've kind of customized it to our liking. Now, what we really need is we need to see this thing come up, okay? We get a little tooltip, a little thing that was trying to give us some help, but we don't need help. We got this. You got me and I got you. We're a family. Let's do this together. So all we have to do to think about this prototype that we're about to do is kind of thinking things in the way of states, right? How does this start up? Well, probably this thing is down and it's not visible. And when some sort of notification happens, we'll make it a timed trigger. It's going to animate our piece, or excuse me, our little notification bubble into place, okay? So why don't we say, we'll call this one lock screen empty, and we'll call this one lock screen notification. Now, the reason this is gonna work, and I wanna point this out, when you're creating your auto-animate auto-animated prototypes, there's a few things that have to happen. Number one, they have to be the same layers. They have to be named the same, and they have to be the same thing, okay? So you can't create an image over here and then, you know, some sort of like a piece of typography and expect them to morph into each other. They gotta be the same thing, right? They gotta evolve from one place to another, all right? So with that being said, all we're gonna do is head over to the prototype tab like that. And I'm gonna click not on any one individual element, although you can if you want. Why don't we play with that? Why don't we try that a little bit? I'm gonna open up lock screen empty, okay? And why don't we actually unlock it, all the things, and let's say we click on camera. Let's do a tap trigger. So we can see here it says when we tap, okay? I'm gonna move myself over and out of the way. When we tap, what do we want to happen? Not transition, we want to get spicy. Let's go auto animate, and we want to go to the notification screen. And now we get to choose the type of easing. Do we want it to be ease in, ease out? Why don't we do something with just a little bit of snap? That might not be what we're looking for, but let's play with it. Now we're going to do the duration, which is 0.3 seconds. I like that a lot. Why don't we do the same thing? And we'll just have to make sure that we unlock the rest of the layers. And what's great is when I prototype my way back by wiring it up, it's going to hold on to, Adobe XD is going to hold on to all the previous options that I selected: tap, auto animate, lock screen empty, snap at 0.3 seconds, okay? And with that done, we can actually do something where we just set the home here and we have a new flow, okay? So let's name this flow and we'll call this the notification flow, all right? And with that done, let's just press Command or Control S and save our file really quickly. With our flow selected, let's press play, okay? And now we should be able to see how we roll over our little camera button. You would never press camera to get a notification, but we're just playing, we're just having fun. So we would roll over our camera, tap it, we get a little notification that pops up. Now if we click it, it's gonna go away. Perfect. Now, this is not what notifications look like on iOS devices, but let's have some fun with it, shall we? Let's come into our notification and bring the opacity of it back up. Let's do a little bit of 3D animation, shall we? I'm gonna come over to transform. I'm gonna turn on 3D. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see. And when we do that, we get what's called our little gizmo, okay? All the angles of our gizmo, X, Y, Z, everything, actually lines up to all of the input fields over here in the transform panel, okay? So you have X rotation, Y rotation, and Z rotation, that in and out, that Z axis, okay? But we can do that here just with our gizmo as well. Why don't we make it flip over and see how everything goes backwards? Kind of fun, kind of cool. And then we'll move it down, and then we'll bring the opacity down. So we should see it flip up with a little bit of snappiness to it. Let's go back actually, and we're gonna select our prototype line. If you ever wanna rework or kind of edit your prototype that you've created, your transition, all you gotta do is select that line and everything becomes available again. Let's just drag this out a little bit. Maybe not 0.3 seconds, maybe 0.5 seconds. Great. And then let's pick the other one and we'll do the same thing. We'll do 0.5 seconds, just slowing it down a little bit. Let's press play. Now we should get a little bit of 3D animation action happening. Woo, that's kind of fun. Let's keep playing with it because I like it a lot. I like that a lot. Isn't that fun? Okay, cool. Now, from here, what we could do is we could add a swipe gesture and make that notification go away. How about we do that? So let's create a new version of our artboard. I literally just held down the Option or the Start key and I drug out a new version of my artboard. We're gonna call this one lock screen and let's call it swiped. Okay, and with that being said, you guessed it, all we're gonna do is select our thing and we're going to swipe it off to the right. Okay, and when we do that, now we have to add that prototype gesture, okay, that trigger to it. So let's go back to our prototype tab. Let's select our notification here and let's drag it over to the right. And instead of tap, why don't we pick a drag trigger? Now we're creating a drag gesture. It's gonna auto animate over there. Easing, yeah, let's do a little bit of snappiness again. Sounds good. And cool. And when we do this again, let's just, yeah, everything's gonna, when we click the camera, it'll take us back to our first screen. Now let's try this whole thing. Let's press play, bring up our notification, We can swipe it over to the right to clear it, and we can go back, and we'd have to work on that a little bit. There's a little bit of funkiness there, but it's always fun to play with. Now, here's the real fun. Instead of just doing a tap trigger to make this thing actually interact, why don't we do, instead of tapping in an individual button, why don't we just have it automatically do it by timing? Okay, that could be a lot of fun. So instead of clicking on an individual element like a button here, why don't we click on the entire screen, drag over, okay? And you can also, instead of dragging, you can always just come up to the top right-hand section and click Add Interaction. You could do that too, right? And then all you have to do is designate which artboard it goes to, or state, which we'll talk about in further ones. But let's do a timed transition. Let's delay it about 1/8 of a second, or excuse me, almost 1 whole second, auto-animate it, and then let's head over to our notification, ease in, ease out. Let's do something like real silly this time, okay? Instead of snap, why don't we do bounce? I don't love the bounce easing style, but let's try it, let's play with it. So it should now do it on its own. Look at me, hands up, here we go. Boop, it does a little bouncy action, right? Cool, okay, let's go back. Should do it again all by itself. It does. Let's change that bounce because it's driving me a little bit nutsos, okay? So I'm gonna change it from bounce. Let's try wind up. Let's just play with some things. The wind up doesn't work so well. Let's try again. Let's go back to snap, 0.5 seconds. Should go automatically on its own. Beautiful, okay? Now, here's the thing. Let's delay it even more. Let's go, can we do a 2-second delay? We sure can. And the duration is 0.5 seconds. So now we should get 1001, 1002. Notification pops up. Great. Why don't we swipe it out of the way? Fantastic. And when we do that, we can always head back and try the whole thing again. Love it. Tons of fun. I'm having a blast. Are you having a blast? This is going to be great. Imagine the fact that we did all of that. We did all of this kind of like high fidelity, like insane amount of design and prototyping. We grabbed a UI kit. We added a little bit of auto-animate, dropped in a little bit of 3D, made it extra spicy, and added multiple triggers to multiple artboards to bring the whole thing together in one flow that we can now share if we want to, right? From here, we can go over to the Share tab. We can share just this flow. That's what's so beautiful about these flows, right? Is that it's not just about naming them, but it's also about sharing them and exporting them, right? So I can just share this one flow, and then I can have a complete different flow, like a swipe up and log in kind of flow. So that's nice. We can share that. We are sharing a link to our notification flow, and we have different ways that we can share things. Do we want to share it as a design review where we get feedback on our design or prototype? Do we want a development share link where they get an inspect mode with code snippets and all that? Do we just want to present or user test, or do we want to customize it ourselves? Why don't we create a development link for iOS specifically, because that's what this is for, and anybody with the link gets it. And as we do that, it immediately starts building our link inside of Adobe XD, and we'll be able to, as soon as it's done, because it's pretty simple, pretty quick, even with my slow internet connection on my laptop, we'll be able to pop it right into place, which will be really, really fun. We'll click on that link, and boom, takes us out to the web. We can view this, share this with anybody we want, get feedback, offer them all the code snippets. Look at this. And it's going to happen in the browser just like it happens inside of your local version of Adobe XD. They're going to get all the animation, all the auto animate, all the timings, everything like that. If my internet could load it, it will do it all. I promise you that. Here we go. It's loaded up, and we should get automated little thing there. We can swipe over and experience the whole thing. Share this to your developers. We'll talk all about handoff in the rest of the challenges throughout the weeks that come. But before we do that, I want to give you a quick insight into what we're going to be doing for the rest of these challenges. All right, so stay tuned. Come back tomorrow, because tomorrow we have a mystery challenge. We'll be doing a little something with NFTs, non-fungible tokens, which is all the hotness right now, and also an incredibly fun word to say. We're going to be challenge number 2. We'll be talking about a VPN. I swear they're not all acronyms, stay with me, but that's a virtual private network. Challenge number 3 is going to be all about checkout somehow. Challenge 4, summer's ending. Let's talk about barbecue. Challenge number 5, we'll do something that has to do with pricing. Challenge number 6 is going to be all about freelancing. We'll build something that has to do with that. Challenge 7 has to do with subscriptions. Challenge number 8 will have to do with the weather, which is always interesting. You got to do something with the weather. And then lastly, you let me know what you think. Challenge number 9 just has to do with force. I repeat, force. this is not the challenge that you're looking for. All right. So with those things being said, I cannot wait for you to join me for the rest of the challenges. We got all sorts of people jumping in the chat. Make sure that you're here with me, same time tomorrow, same place, for the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge with me, your host, Jesse Showalter. I'll be looking at your all your design work inside of the Discord server and on Behance. Get yourself set up in XD, play with some UI kits, some notifications, some animations, have some fun. We will see you tomorrow right back here on the XD Daily Creative Challenge. See you later.